Now, each and every week there's a best farm in Destiny, and this week is no different. We're going to go through it in great detail in today's video, covering exactly why you need to consider it, and also the kind of loot that you can get by completing it too. It's probably one of the best weeks to get your things in order just before Lightfall launches on the 28th of February. So if you're still looking to tick a few boxes, get your hands on a few incredible weapons, and more importantly some high stat armor, which will have boosted stats in Lightfall 2, then be sure to stick around and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a comment and rating down below, and remember to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. Now, earlier in this season, Bungie pulled back the curtain on some of the build crafting we can expect to see in Season 20 upon the launch of Lightfall. Some of those big changes came with mods, especially those applied to our armor, and how these are being changed from combat style sockets, which was either linked to our armor's element affinity or even our weapon damage type. Now, these have been simplified for Lightfall, giving us many more options, and now even artifact mods are just unlockable perks, so they no longer need to be socketed into any of your items, and they'll instead provide passive benefits to our loadouts. Now, the key change, and the reason why this is one of the best farms this week, comes in relation to Artifice armor. As things currently stand, this has an extra combat mod socket, but starting in Lightfall, Artifice armor will have a new unique mod socket that grants 3 additional points to your character's armor stats. That includes strength, mobility, intellect, recovery, resilience, and discipline. That will help us build around those stats even more and perfect our builds going into the new season. So that gives us an idea of some of the items that we're going to be chasing, but where do we need to go to get our hands on this sweet loot? Well, each and every week we cover the featured raid and dungeon content in This Week in Destiny, and this week's featured dungeon is the Duality dungeon. Now, this launched back in Season of the Haunted and is very much set on the derelict Leviathan. Now, there are 3 main encounters in this dungeon. We have the Nightmare of Golran, the Sorrow Bearer, which is the first major encounter. Now, you can get weapons or armor from this boss, including the Lingering Dread grenade launcher and also the Epicurean fusion rifle. As for armor though, you'll be getting a helmet, gloves or boots. As for the second major encounter, which is called Unlock the Vault, completing this will give you a chance of the Storm Chaser linear fusion rifle and also the Unforgiven SMG. These are 2 very much sought after weapons, and it will also be possible to grab yourself a new pair of gauntlets, a chest piece, and also a class item from this encounter. But the main encounter, and the one that we're going to focus on in this video, is the Nightmare of Kytel, Empress Imperial. This is the final boss encounter for this dungeon. You can get yourself the new purpose pulse rifle, the fixed odds machine gun, and also the Heart Shadow exotic sword. As well as that, you can also get a new pair of gauntlets, a chest piece, and also a brand new pair of boots. Now, if you want to check out the full loot list from the Duality dungeon, then make sure to check out this infographic from blueberries.gg. It covers all the encounters and what you can get from each and every one, and I'll leave the link to that down in the video description below. Now, what makes Kytel even more desirable is that she also offers double the rewards. When you complete this encounter, you'll get 2 drops instead of 1. And what makes this even spicier this week, as the featured dungeon is also farmable, meaning we can repeat it over and over again, and you'll get loot from all the encounters. So if there is a particular weapon that you're chasing, or you're just straight up farming high stat armor, then be sure to pick your encounters accordingly, get your fire teams together and get farming away. Now, if it is the Artifice armor that you're chasing, it's important to remember that this armor is exclusive to the Master difficulty, and the Master challenge is only available when the dungeon is featured. So this will be your last opportunity in Season 19 to pick up a full set of this armor with high stats, which then should stand you in good stead and provide boosted stats in Lightfall. Now, before we can start farming, you first need to gain yourself a checkpoint. You can either pick this up from any LFG that's willing to provide one, or you and your fire team will need to work your way through the dungeon as you normally would on the Master difficulty. Now, once you reach the encounter that you're looking to farm, you'll then need to save the checkpoint on an additional character, which if you do it correctly will allow you to reload into this checkpoint and therefore repeat it as many times as you like. Now, to do this, one player will need to log into another character to save the checkpoint. Once that player's logged into the other character, they should rejoin the fire team and you should start the encounter as you normally would. Instead of completing it though, the entire fire team needs to wipe, and this will save the encounter on that second character so it can be loaded in on again. At this point, the player can swap back to their original character and complete the encounter as you normally would. Now, once you've completed your encounter, you can again swap back to the second character that has the checkpoint by leaving the fire team. Now, once you've reloaded into the dungeon at the relevant checkpoint on the second character, the rest of your fire team can join back on you. And once they've joined back, you'll be able to once again switch to your main character in order to repeat the run. It's a very easy process and one that you can do very quickly once you've done it quite a few times. Alright, so we've got the checkpoint, so here's a quick rundown of how the Keitel fight works. And once you kick off the fight, Keitel will spawn in with multiple bell keepers and a massive wave of adds. Now over on the floor towards the back of the room there are symbols that spawn near the pillars, and these will indicate the standards that the fire team will need to collect. Now these can be found in the Nightmare Realm, so to gain access to this you'll need to first kill the bell keepers, which will allow us to ring the bell. Now before ringing the bell, ensure that 2 members of your fire team are standing on the relevant platforms for where the standards are located. This will mean that as soon as the bell is rung and we're teleported to the Nightmare Realm, those members of your fire team will be standing right next to a scion, which they'll need to kill in order to grab the relevant standard. It's the quickest and safest way to do it, and whilst 2 members of your fire team are doing that, the third player will need to focus on killing the bell keepers, and once the 2 members of the fire team have the standards and all the bell keepers are dead, you can group up again as a fire team to ring that bell once again. Now whilst back in the main arena, the 2 players with the standards will be able to place them in their relevant areas, once again whilst the last member of the fire team is focusing on the bell keepers. Now to enable the next section of this fight, we'll need to repeat this one more time to ensure that we've entered 4 correct standards. Once we've done that, we'll see text on the screen that says the Bell of Conquest is primed, which highlights that we're almost ready for damage. At this particular point, we'll need to clear the final bell keepers in the room, which will allow us to ring the large bell in the center of the arena. In order to do this, we'll need to shoot the chains on the pillars in order to ring it, and as soon as it rings, we'll be teleported to the Nightmare Realm. Now once here, there are 6 bell keepers, and we'll need to kill these as quickly as possible. Now it is possible to slow Keitel down by making her stomp. You can do this by a member of your fire team getting close to her and then sliding away, which can save you and your fire team a few vital seconds. Now Keitel will make her way towards one of the bells in order to try and escape the Nightmare Realm. Now as long as the bell keepers are dead, then you'll be able to ring the bell once Keitel gets close to it. This will in fact stun her, which will allow you to do DPS. Now whilst Keitel is stunned, she takes an incredible amount of damage. A Well of Radiance is incredibly strong here. Weakened and Clear is also a fantastic debuff to have, and linear fusion rifles are absolutely king. Now there are 3 bells in total that you can ring in the Nightmare Realm, each of these all given a damage phase. Now, if you have a very well coordinated team, it is entirely possible to easily one-phase Keitel, even on Master difficulty. But if for any reason Keitel still has a little bit of health left and all the bells have been rung, then you'll return to the regular arena and you'll need to cycle through the entire process once again. Now, as I said, a good fire team can one-phase Keitel even on Master difficulty, making this a very quick fight indeed. It offers Artifice armor, some of the best weapons in the game, with twice the loot that is farmable this week. It's easy to see why this is the best farm in Destiny 2 this week, and one you should definitely be taking advantage of in the final weeks of Season 19. So there we have it guys, a good look on the best farm in Destiny this week. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to check out one of the 2 videos you see here in these cards for more Destiny 2 content. And if you want to keep up to date with everything to do with Destiny 2, then be sure to hit subscribe as well. I'm going to back to the game as always guys, and I will catch you all again very soon.